Hey everyone, I'm Mark Cook, CEO of Shiny Shoe. We are the creators of Monster Train. Sorry for the delay starting the stream. Had a little technical issues, but I am here now. So here we are, 1 week later, after The Last Divinity was released. Today is April 1st, so it was 7 days ago that we unleashed The Last Divinity upon the world on Steam, GOG, Xbox One, Windows 10, Microsoft Store, and the Xbox Series, which was a new updated version that we released then. Today, I don't really have a big agenda. I'm happy to take questions. Basically, like I think it's a good opportunity for a kind of Q&A stream. I'm happy to take whatever questions you may have about the update or future plans, and I'll try my best to answer all of those. We did release yesterday a bug fix patch on PC, and it was specifically on Steam and GOG, that addresses a number of issues that we've seen come up reported by the community. So hopefully that took care of most of the most prominent bugs. That's what I think it did based on my understanding of the current situation. And there were also a couple of feature enhancements that went in there, like some additional clarification for how the cheater's hand artifact works. We had a little bit of confusion about how that was working, and I think we've improved that and made it a lot clearer now. And a couple of enhancements to playing with controller and keyboard, some of which were feature requests that we got specifically on places like Reddit. So hopefully people who are playing with controller and keyboard like those changes, and yeah, I think it works better. I just noticed that my overlay says The Last Divinity is 10% off. That sale just ended today, so I hope if you are interested, you were able to pick it up already. But today we are publishing on Steam some new bundles. So there are going to be, if you're a new player who doesn't own the base game or the DLC, you're going to be able to get both together at a discount. I forget exactly what the discounts are. The publish button for that just got pushed like a few minutes ago, so I didn't even see it live on the Steam store page before I came onto this stream, but that should be live soon. So if you want to play the game on Steam, or your friend does that doesn't yet own it, the bundle is a good way to get both the base game and the DLC at a discount. All right, Seafood Hater asks, is there a Switch version of the game? As of right now, publicly, no, there is not. We're definitely still considering what other platforms might make sense to bring Monster Train to. As soon as I have any kind of news that we can announce with regards to that, you'll hear it here first. So, yeah, it's definitely this release of The Last Divinity is not the last thing that's happening with Monster Train. So, be on the lookout for other news. Tech Guy 4 asks, we all recommend to have a clear button for run history, please. Okay, noted. Yeah, right now there's no way to clear it other than probably just deleting the files off your hard drive. If you're on PC, that would probably work. On other platforms like the Xbox, there would be no real way to wipe it out, though. So we'd have to add some kind of in-game functionality for that. Out of curiosity, I'd be interested to hear why you are interested in having that, just to kind of get a clean slate, I guess. But anyways, if you have any specific more information, I'd be interested to hear. One thing that I wanted to mention too. So we just released this bug fix patch. We are planning to release a balance patch as well, probably later in April. So that's my hope, at least. That depends on some factors outside of my control. So starting this coming Monday on April 5th, we're going to start looking at all of the kind of gameplay balance data that we've collected through our analytics system, and we're going to be looking at player feedback across, Discord, Reddit, people who have submitted feedback in game, and so on, and kind of bring all that together and start working on a balance update that includes probably changes primarily to Wormkin and content that was added in The Last Divinity, I would guess, but who knows, maybe there'll be some kind of base game changes as well. I don't yet know what any of those are going to be, so asking questions about specifically what are we intending to change right now, I can't really say because we just don't know yet. But we will be starting that, and then hopefully we'll be launching that on all platforms, hopefully before May 1st. But the timeline, I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of the plan right now. All right, Rough Lobster asks, are you pleased with the DLC sales so far? Yeah, I'd say overall we are for sure. Seems like there's been pretty good interest, so I appreciate that, and hopefully overall people who have bought it are liking it. It seems like that's the case based on things like Steam reviews and so on. So yeah, I mean, I'm proud of what we added in the DLC, and I like it. I like the new content. It seems like other people do too. So far we're happy, and could be a good sign for doing more in the Monster Train world in the future as well. Yeah, I mean, also, if you are enjoying, thank you, Genesee, for reminding me. If you are enjoying the DLC and you got it on Steam or GOG or any place you can leave a review, Xbox, if you could leave a review, that would be awesome, especially if you liked it. We'd appreciate it. So, thank you. All right. Let's see if that bundle has launched yet. I'm going to take a look again. Nope, looks like it's still not up yet for some reason, but hopefully that'll be there soon. Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any specific kind of gameplay feedback or things that you think are a balance problem right now, or you think needs tweaking, either buff or nerf, either way, and I'd be happy to talk about that and kind of hear you out right now. They were definitely like getting the gears ready to start thinking about that in more detail in the very near future. All right, Sortfin says, Wormkin is my favorite class. They are amazing. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Yeah, there's like, for me at least personally, I feel like there's more to think about, and there's some like interesting combo mechanics, and also they create some more reasons to use more of your floors in your train with things like the eggs to hatch and so on, which create some kind of interesting strategies around unit placement. So I like them too. All right. Adrained asks, what sort of things are you looking into for the balance patch? So I think broadly we're going to be looking for kind of outlier trends. It's one of the initial things that we're going to be considering when it comes to looking at the analytics data specifically. So things like something appears to be way too strong or something appears to be way too weak, and then considering what might make sense to bring those types of things perhaps back into line, which could be just number bumps or it could be redesigns. I mean, all options are open for us in terms of how things function. And I think looking at player feedback, of course, for both players that are like kind of more advanced, like on the Covenant 25 side, as well as how newer players are feeling about the just broad difficulty of the title. We're going to be looking at that as well. I think it's been interesting to see. We've gotten feedback that both The Last Divinity has made the game harder and that it's made it too easy. So I think we're going to be very interested when we start looking deeper into the data this coming Monday. It'll be interesting to see what the data tells us, who's right, basically, because I don't know right now. So I have, maybe my own personal opinion, but it'll be interesting to see. All right, Binkley asks, any plans for crossover events and things? Could you follow up and let me know what you mean specifically about crossover? Do you mean with other games? If you let me know, then I may be able to answer. All right, Direct Relief asks, so is it intended that if you make it to and lost to The Last Divinity, your win streak ends despite Seraph is the previous end? Yes, basically. So if you take enough shards, pack shards, which increase your power, but then die and lose to The Last Divinity, it's considered a lost run and not a win. So all of the kind of win tracking logic applies to, did you win that run overall, yes or no? So it's kind of put into your hands as to whether or not you want to trigger the presence of The Last Divinity, yes or no, based on how many pack shards you take on. So, if you want to if you think that your run is like not likely to beat the last Divinity, then you could try to stay. You could still take some pack shards, but then try to stay under 100, and then get a Seraph win. Or you could take no pack shards at all. All of those options are available to you. But to kind of have an internal consistent logic, it's a loss if you die. Like, you have to win all the way through, kind of regardless of your prior decisions. And obviously, you know, that's how it currently works, but that's why it works that way. I think we'd be, I guess, open to consider changing that, but it seems to make sense to us for how it currently is working. All right, ZYZZY Vivification. Vivification. I think you could add multi-strike ×3 to Shadow Siege. Oh, everyone would love some more good Shadow Siege buffs, wouldn't they? Yeah, maybe you could get some more multi-strike. All right, Binkley says, yes, like other games, let's see Ironclad from Slay the Spire pop up in the caverns. Yeah, that'd be cool. So I can tell you right now, we don't have any, like, planned or in progress crossovers, but I think it would be fun. So I would, if any other developers out there are interested, I'd be happy to chat about it. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea. All right, Cricket says, what is the logic behind copying a card that was modified with shards? It generates more shards for the copy as well. Yes, it does. And the reason for that is the upgrades that come from the Divine Temple, we think, power up your spells and units so greatly that we thought it made sense to have a pack shard cost to duplicating those. So that's essentially the logic behind it, is that once you've done something to a card that is related to pack shards, if you later duplicate it, it's going to create even more pack shards. I'd say that's definitely like something that's open to balance changes. Like, if we think duplicating it is not really good enough, and it needs to be less shards, or maybe it should be even more. Like, I really can't say that at all. Or maybe it should be none. I don't know yet, but I'd say that's certainly something that we'll be considering in an overall balance patch, is looking at costs like that. Since that's a totally new system just added to the game, that obviously has wide-ranging impact, and so it's likely that we're going to be making tweaks in various places. This camera's driving me crazy. Why does it always freeze on me? I need a new USB cable or something. Okay, I'm back. I need a new USB cable. I got to figure out what the hell is freezing me out here. Nightshade Lotus says, is Mark getting more gray hair each live stream? That is probably true. I mean, it just feels like there's more and more coming in all the time. It's those kids, I'll tell you. I've got 2 young kids. I love them, but they can certainly stress you out. Getting old, too. Getting old. There's also that. All right. Laertis, sorry, butchering that. What balance or design change are you most proud of or happy with? With regards to the overall update, interesting. I think I personally, and I had nothing to do with this decision, so I'm not claiming any kind of credit for it personally, but I like the changes to Covenant 10 and Covenant 20 that we put into the game. The change to Ember Drain instead of Dazed on the top floor, and the change to what do I want to say? What is it? The floor capacity always changing on the middle floor. I think those 2 changes made the impact of those 2 Covenant levels kind of more consistent across different types of builds and more fair. So I like that overall. I thought that was a good change, so I'm glad we put that in. Ambi-Tank. Sorry. Any plans to add a tracker for divine win streaks? Not right now, but if you guys are interested in that, we could definitely consider it. Tech Guy 4 asks, please add an extra save file. If you mean different profiles, basically, yeah, sorry to say that's probably not going to happen. If you mean something else, then let me know. Right now, if you're playing on Windows, one way to do that is to have 2 different Windows users. That will guarantee you they have 2 completely separate save game ecosystems. The same thing is true on Xbox or GOG and so on. I hear the request. We've had a number of people request that over time. Like, often it's like two people in the same family sharing the same PC with the same Windows account. And we understand that there's like some desire for that. That's one of the use cases that we've had that question for. The only workaround right now is use two different Windows accounts if you're playing on the PC. So yeah, I'd say unfortunately it's probably unlikely that we're going to add that to this game, but you know, it is something that we will take forward and think about in the future on our future titles, because there's been enough requests for it that yeah, it's on our minds. All right, Gaming Beolov FFT. Hello there. Just popping in to say I love the new DLC. Thank you. Everything is awesome. Thank you. And I even got a copy for some friends. Thank you again. Appreciate it. The only small nitpick is the increase in score discrepancies in Hell Rush. But other than that, great job. So it sounds like you've already discussed that with one of the people on my team. So we will take those into account as we're thinking about this upcoming kind of balance patch and seeing what we might be able to do, if anything, to kind of make that make more sense within Hell Rush. Did I forget to... I may have forgot to put something in the patch notes that we just released too. I think we had a bug fix for Hell Rush as well in there that I may have not listed, speaking of Hell Rush, in terms of... this is what I remember. If you run out of time during a Seraph battle, there was a bug where it would not proceed, and you still won that battle. It would not proceed to the last divinity. I'm pretty sure we fixed that too. So that should have gone out in the recent bug fix patch. Cricket says the gray hair is working for you right now, though. Well, thank you. And Genesee reminded me that I promised her that I was going to prove I'm actually in my house. She told me, I don't know, a week or two ago that she liked my green screen background. But I think it only looks that way because of this nice camera. It's got some like nice bokeh and depth of field and so on. But Genesee, for you right now, I'm going to touch the plant in the background. Right, here I go. See? It's not a green screen. I'm in my actual house. I'm in a tiny bedroom that's been converted into an office for the global pandemic and working from home. So now you've seen it. Now you've seen the proof, Genesee. All right, Rough Lobster. Could we have a Divine Wind stamp on each separate champion type in the Dark Forge in the logbook for tracking purposes? Interesting. Let me try to think about exactly what you mean. Okay, it's for tracking which of the kind of champion upgrade paths. Is that what you mean? That sounds like that's what you mean. I could definitely see that, you know, wanting to make sure to prove your mastery of the game that you have, let's say, defeated either Seraph or the last divinity with a specific champion upgrade path, especially if you go all in on, you know, like 3 levels of a specific path. That could be an interesting addition. I like that. I like that suggestion. It's, you know, just yet another kind of way to show your ultimate mastery over the game as having done that. And I think by having that type of thing visible in the Dark Forge, it might encourage you, just like card mastery does. It's like when I see that in a card draft, it's like, well, I've mastered 2 of these, but not the other one. I'm usually tempted to try to take it, sometimes even if it's like incompatible with my strategy, simply because I want to try to master it. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Johnny Bazooka 89 says it's hard to differentiate branching. Yeah, if you start to like mix paths together, I'm frozen again. Am I back? No, I'm at black screen now. Arrgh. I do agree that it is hard to differentiate. If you put in a tracking feature like that, and the fact that you can mix and match might make it a little weird, so I'd have to think about in more detail what exactly that would mean. Hope you're all enjoying the black screen here. Let's at least look at this while I try to fix my camera. Something's happening. Not what I want, though. Hold on a second here. Pull the battery out of this thing and put it back in. Are we getting any luck? No, no luck. One last thing I'll try. And if this doesn't work, we're going to go, I don't know, beautiful headshot. There we go. Didn't work. Can enjoy a picture of me and Chief. And I'll talk over the beautiful main menu. Yes, I could go for Deep Thoughts. Deep Thoughts is a good one. Where is Deep Thoughts? There it is. All right, let's just go with this. Layer Taste says, do you watch any community streams or MT YouTube channels? Yes, I definitely have, off and on. So both some of the kind of bigger streamers, as well as folks within our community. You know, people who've watched in the past, Rhapsody, Dolphin Chemist, Wanderbots, Northern Lion, and then a number of kind of folks that are in our community that have shared their streams on our Discord and so on. So, yeah, I have not seen personally a ton of our last Divinity streams from folks, but other people on the Monster Train development team have. So we definitely pay attention to those, and we look for things that we might want to fix or change based on feedback from people's streams and videos. So it is something we keep an eye on. Do the dudes on the beach have horn helmets? Let's try to look here. It looks like they do. I mean, the monster train's in the back, if you guys can see that, near the sunset. It's from the original concept art for the monster train back there. All right. Well, thank you for all the questions today. It looks like there may not be any more, so we'll just wrap up here at this beautiful Deep Thoughts banner. If you have any additional feedback on the last Divinity or the base game patch or any of that, feel free to post it in Discord. Use the in-game F8 key to send it to the development team, or post it in places like Reddit or the Steam forums. This is a photo from Frank's retirement. You know, anywho, yeah, please share it with us. You know, we've got a upcoming balance patch coming hopefully later in April, towards the end of the month. If the timeline changes on that, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, thank you for being here and being a part of the Monster Train community. Hope you all have a good day, and hopefully my camera works better next time. And I'll see you then. Bye for now.